Okay, 8th grade, part 2 of 7-3, the Pythagorean theorem. This is where it gets a little trickier. This is why I'm giving you 2 days to work on this, because the first part was plenty to undertake. This part gets a little trickier because you're still doing those same steps, but now you're doing them with algebra. So a plane takes off from an airport and travels 13 miles on its path. If the plane is 12 miles from its takeoff point horizontally, what's its height? So it goes this way and has to take off. The distance between the plane's location and takeoff is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. Okay? So you're looking at this and either zoning out, not caring, thinking about your food that you're going to eat later, or maybe you've noticed that they gave you the hypotenuse. So what the heck? What do? It's no longer a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and it's just boom, easy. That's it. They give it to you backward now. So they're missing a leg. They gave you one leg and they gave the hypotenuse. So instead of being like a squared plus b squared equals what? That's what we're looking for in the previous video. Now they're going like a squared plus what equals c squared. So they're switching it out. And it could be a instead, doesn't matter. I'd start to do this for you to save time. So you still write it out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Doesn't matter which leg you put as a or b typically, unless they label it for you. 12 squared plus, we don't know what x is, squared, equals 13 squared. So now we square these guys. 12 squared is 144. 13 squared is 169. So now we're doing algebra. It's going to look like this. 144 plus x squared equals 169. So you know you have to isolate that variable. This is a positive, so you minus it from both sides. This cancels each other out, leaving x squared equals, and then what's 169 minus 144? So that's why I put that there, minus the 144 from each side. It gets you 25. So now, is your answer 25? Does that look like it's 25? No, it's smaller than the 13 and the 12. There's no way that's 25. Remember, you still have to square root it. So what is the square root of 25? It's 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. And that's how you do that. Over here, again, they gave you the hypotenuse this time, but you're missing a leg. So it would look like 35 square plus, we don't know, we'll just put x squared, equals 50 squared. You could put the meter symbols if you want. I'm not going to do it to confuse you more. Remember, the hypotenuse goes on the outside of the equal sign there, okay? So now you have to square it. So how do we do that? It's 35 squared equals, woo, big number, 1,225. We don't know what x is. And then 50 squared, 50 times 50. I'm going to do this just for posterity's sake, 2,500. It's pretty simple, but just in case, I'm not going to judge you for using the calculator. All right, so now this is our math, our algebraic, that we just have to do the inverse operation on both sides to isolate the variable. This will cancel each other out, leaving x squared equals, and then what's this? Well, we can just go minus 1,225. Okay, we have 1,275. That's what's left over. Is that how long this is? Does that make sense? No, you still need to square root it. So what is the square root of 1,275 or 1,275? So you do the second, and you're going to hit that button. 1,275 equals 35.7. So you might be like, well, wait, it's a decimal. It's okay. 35.7. And does it tell us to round? It does, to the nearest tenth. So we have 7 on here. That's the tenth. The next number is a 0, so that's definitely less than 5, so we just keep it at 7. So 35 and 7/10. And it's meters that we're talking about. So that is how long that would be. Does that look like it makes sense? Yeah, it's not over 50, and it's not going to be under 35. So that is correct. Okay. Same thing over here on these three-dimensional shapes. Again, this will be big when we're doing area and volume. Okay, so they give you 8 and 17. So now you have to find the missing leg. Remember, these are all right triangles. So a squared is 8 squared plus, we don't know what the other leg is, equals 17 squared. Okay. All right, so we take 8 times 8, 64. Oops, we're just going to put 8 there because it's the squared. Over here is 17 squared. 8 times 8, 64. So 8 squared, 64. 17 times 17. Well, I can't really do that in my head super duper fast. So there we go, 289. Okay, evaluate. It's not going to show you what to do here, but we know. We're going to minus 64 from each side. This will cancel each other out, leaving the b squared is approximately. Okay, so we're going to take this bad guy and we're going to minus 64. And we get 225. Okay, does this look like it's 225 feet? No, that's only 17 and 8. There's no way. What step did we miss? The square root. So you're going to take your square root button. 225 equals 15. 15, so it's a positive 15. Does that make sense? Yep, it's under the hypotenuse, and you're good to go. If you see a crazy guy like this, it may kind of hurt your head. This is 45 here. The hypotenuse here is 50. They're missing the leg. So it's the same thing. They just try and trick you. Same thing if you have something like this, okay? Here's your triangle here. So this is going to be the hypotenuse. This is a leg. And then this would be a leg. Okay, so what is this? Well, and you can just, tells you 3 miles, okay? You could count these up too, depending on what type of problem it is. All right, so we're gonna stop there. And now we're gonna come back and do a part 3 and do some practice problems because this one's a really important one, folks. All right.